What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, people? This is your host of Austin Off Script, Dr. Julio. Remember, it's just a nickname, folks. Relax. People, people. The Pink Pill and I are getting together. I know you're thinking, what the hell am I know Julio did not just say what I think he said, but oh, yes, it's happening, people. And she's actually going to be joining us here in a minute. And this is going to be pretty good. I'm going to drop the link so that she can see it. I'm going to drop the link right here in the chat because this one's going to be good. Because this. Okay. That is the link. That is the link. That is the link. And she's going to be joining us here briefly. And we're going to have an in depth discussion on a couple of entertaining topics. That's what we're gonna have. It's gonna be, and understand this. What we're gonna just. There she goes. She's in the green room. Okay. Well, hi there.
Hi.
And how are you doing?
Uh-oh, let me put my sound off with the other page. I'm doing okay. It's been an
So,
interesting day. How are
well,
you?
I'm doing well. So we have been moderating. Well, first of all, introduce yourself to the people that have come on my channel on YouTube that may not, be over there on the other side of the social media world and Clubhouse. They may not know who
Okay.
Pink Pill is.
Okay. I'm Crystalline Karazin. I am the creator of the Pink Pill. I am also the author of Swirling: How to Date, Mate, and Relate, Mixing Race, Culture, and Creed. My body of work is mainly to empower Black women to understand their power and to encourage them to expand their thought processes to all opportunities and cultivate themselves to be the distinction in all ways, romantically, professionally, and socially. I also have courses. You can find more about that at getpinkpill.com. I'm
Okay.
also a major shit starter, apparently.
Well, that's kind of the interesting part about that, though, isn't it? You are a major damn shit starter, ain't you? And I think that
I
what
trigger
is
people a lot.
well, you do, and I wonder. I want to understand why that is. That's what I want to get at. Why
You
are
know,
you? Why? What is it about you that has you just so triggering to the masses of the YouTube community, the just community in general?
I think it's because I say things that most Black people don't
Mm-hmm.
say. I say Black women have the thing that's most triggering for people
Mm-hmm.
is that I say, listen, Black women have a unique set of challenges when it comes
Right.
to relationships,
Uh-huh.
and because of those challenges, we need to think differently, and we need to be more strategic, and we can't negotiate with no leverage. And so um, I encourage Black women to expand their dating options, including Black men, but white, Asian,
So you
Hispanic,
want them to? So you
everybody.
basically just want
I want them to
you
date
you want
everybody.
them to have an expanding pool of options, right?
Absolutely. The more
So
options, the better.
okay, the more options, the better. Now, there's
And then
some.
and then they can negotiate with y'all.
You said they can negotiate. It gives them a better way to negotiate with us.
Yes.
So, question then: what is it? What is it about swirling, which would be the term that would be called, or what was it about? What got you into that ideology? What prompted that type of switch up to say, I'm done just dating one particular race. Now I want to kind of expand and open up my options. What was it that kind of initiated that?
I know a lot of people think that, oh, she just was dogged out by a black man and she hates us so much, and that's why. No. So my story is that I follow the rules. It was like, hey, get yourself the ideal black man. Don't get with Pookie and Ray Way. Get yourself a nice, educated brother who's got some sense. I did that, and it it. I mean, there were a lot of issues. This was not a fit. This was not going to be a fit. I stayed too long in that relationship though because of the information as a young black woman that this man is rare and you need to try to make it work. You know, aesthetically, he was extremely handsome, 6'2", dark skinned, face like a Greek god, went to Howard with a degree in architecture. He was, he was employed, he was gainfully employed, no babies, no jail, had his own place, car. So it was like those basics that we like say, Hercules, Hercules. So he had all the basics.
In other words, he had the foundation.
Yeah, he had the foundation. And so because we as black women are often told that these are the type of men that we need to try to make it work with, I definitely stayed a little bit too long. And as a result, there was the cascade of consequences that I'm still dealing with today. But when I realized, when I broke off that relationship, I still desired to be married and to have more children in a home that they were planned. I wanted my children to be planned. I wanted them to be raised by a mother and father, and I wanted I wanted to have the nest. I wanted to build that nest, and so it was that moment where I said, "Listen, I've tried it the BC way, the Black community way. I tried it. I tried my best. I gave it the college try. Now I'm going to try something else." And it wasn't that I said, okay, no more black men.
Right.
It was that it's going to be all men and let's see what happens.
So, in that experience, once you conducted this, what I'll call the switch, once you flip the open all options door, did the experience, was it instantaneously better? How has it been? Has it ever been worse, or you know?
That's a really good question. Was it instantaneously better? Yes, it was better because I felt more in control over what I could do. And it made me feel less desperate to get what it was that I wanted, because all of a sudden I had a bunch of choices that I didn't have before, and it was refreshing. It was refreshing, and I couldn't believe that men of other races thought I was very, very attractive.
Well, I mean,
Whereas,
in looking in what I see, it's very easy to find you an attractive woman. That's not really a difficult accomplishment. Everyone that is joining the live, thank you so much. But get the likes up. There's 32 people in here.
yeah.
If y'all would get the likes up. But so when we look at the conversation around, how can I put this? We look at the conversation surrounding dating in general. It has been reported, said, stated that sometimes you will make statements that are disparaging to be nice to black males and about black men. And on Clubhouse, I know you and I had an interaction that was,
Oh yeah, we hated each other.
couldn't stand one another. I mean, it was quite contentious, but it was quite entertaining at the same time. I was coming from the perspective of a black man defending his brothers, against, at the time, what I thought to be the rhetoric of the devil incarnate, saying that black
A
men are,
genocidist, the devil incarnate.
well, I mean, that name is probably one of the nicer ones that I'm sure you've been called for. Some
Oh
of the
yeah, I've been
statements.
like I'm an odd placed by racist white people.
You're probably a member of Antifa secretly, right?
Yeah.
But the problem I have, or had, was that I didn't understand your point of view. Now it's quite there's some logic to it there. I think that, but do you ever feel that you ever intentionally othered yourself in the dating game? Or was it just that you just paid attention to the fact that you just literally just weren't what boys or males were at the time you were growing up interested in?
What do you mean by intentionally othered myself? What do you mean by
Did
that?
you ever? Sometimes I think it's coming up as kids and even as adults, we know we're unique in some way, but we may do other things to exacerbate our uniqueness.
What
So,
do you
for
mean?
example, what I mean is the smart kid that already is naturally talented at math, to intentionally other himself, to add to his uniqueness, he'll deliberately sit on the other side of the cafeteria studying out of some college math textbook, just doing outlandish extra shit to draw attention to
That's
themselves.
but okay. So I'm gonna have to. This is gonna be the first pushback of the evening. So
Oh, this ought to be good.
it's
Let's do this.
outlandish to be good at something and want to go deep and perfect that. Um,
You're talking
in
to
the Black
you
community, it's like, and if when you use that example, especially when um, we don't encourage intellectualism in our community.
Whoa,
When you
whoa,
see
whoa, whoa,
a
whoa, whoa,
child,
whoa, whoa,
wait
wait,
one
wait,
second.
wait, wait.
Wait,
Hold
wait,
on,
no.
gentlemen.
So
Hold on,
so
wait.
you're not
Did you
encouraging
just
it.
say?
It's like, oh, the
Did
kid
you just
at
say? Hold on.
school.
Wait a minute. Did you just say we don't encourage intellectualism in the black community?
I would. You just gave the example.
You
You
know what?
just
I actually
proved
agree
what
with
I
you.
said.
I actually agree with you. That's the funny thing. I actually kind of agree with you because the net of it is, a la the Godfather, right? The net of it is, I think, and this is my opinion. Y'all people, get the likes up, man. Damn it, get the likes up. It's 33 people in here. I should see at least and keep my engagement up over 50%, please. Keep my engagement up over 50%. Y'all know what that sounds like, but I'm serious. The net of it is, now look, we don't encourage intellectualism in the black community. That right there is one of the first points I can agree with you 100%. We don't encourage our children to go into the arts and the sciences. We don't encourage our children to go into the realm of physics, but rather we teach our children philosophy. We teach them the philosophy of the streets. The philosophy of the streets and the sheets. Those are the two philosophies that we do teach our black children. Now, what I will say to that, I stamp that. I stamp that. Thank y'all. Keep my engagement up over 50%. Let's get it up. Let's get it up, people. Get the likes up. But when we talk about you though,
Mhm.
you go beyond. You a whole nother class of woman. Because
It,
see,
yeah.
I understand. To me, a white woman doesn't have any use in dating. She there's no, there's no utility for me. Except maybe to as they say, do one for the culture. But
Do it
as
for
a
the
do it
culture.
for the culture, for sure, for sure. But
Mhm.
as a man,
So what would that be doing for the culture if you got with a white woman?
remember it's an old allusion to Malcolm X. Malcolm X said it like this: when he was in prison, he said that the one thing that Negroes want is to be on the level of the white man. In fact, he said, in order for there to be true change in this country, the white man must feel free to sit at the table and speak his mind without hurting the feelings of that Negro, and the Negro must feel free to sit at the table and speak his mind without hurting the feelings of that white man. But what
Okay.
black men have to conquer, we were chasing manhood again. We were chasing that real sense of authentic manliness. And so, how do we do that? We do that by capturing the closest thing we can get to the white man, which is the white man's prize, that white woman. That's what I mean
Okay.
when I say for the culture. Now,
So okay, so it's about proximity. It's about a war by proxy between black men and white men.
yes, it's war by
So
proxy
you're using white women as the gambit
as the
to
gambit.
fight the war
Yes,
by proxy against white men. Gotcha.
yes, that's precisely the point. That is exactly what
Does
we
it,
talk
how's
about.
how goes the war
The
in that
war
regard?
is not being won by us right now. Well, actually, it is. Actually, I take that back. It is. The war is being won by us. Um, reason being, I say that is because black men in this country are doing the damn thing. We are playing the game. We are actually marrying more white women and more non-black women. So even
Hmm.
from a sexual marketplace and a marriage marketplace value, black men are marrying it outside of their race at a rate of 14%. So I would say the culture is in our favor.
No, it's not. It's more than that.
Well, black men are right, but the problem is when black men leave black women and go get someone of another race, there's always this inevitable pushback. There's always this shaming of them. But when you teach women to go for other race men and you somehow manage to get off relatively scot free
Are you kidding me?
from from what I understand.
Get off scot free. Okay, I just want to tell you right now, Austin, I'm co-broadcasting only just for a little bit so
Uh-huh.
that my audience will know that I'm on your channel.
Oh, and so you're broadcasting this what on your channel as well?
Yeah, see, I'm
Okay.
putting it. I'm just briefly so people know.
No, yeah,
Um, your
leave it up there. That's fine. Leave it up there.
channel. Okay.
Um,
But can you still see me?
yeah, I can still see you just fine.
This is crazy. I didn't know you could do this.
Yeah, Ecamm Live has that feature. Yes, you can stream to multiple different.
What?
Yes,
Okay, I am simultaneously on my channel watching this.
that's amazing. So
I
that
know,
means
right?
that we're getting
Technology. Technology.
technology is very powerful. I tell you, I'm trying to see if I can. But I mean that's kind of the crazy thing. Um, so what you actually do, you can pin a link to my channel in the chat
Yeah,
room.
it's what I did. If you go to my channel, we're getting people in. So hey, everybody, welcome to the Pink Pill. Right now, I'm broadcasting simultaneously with Austin Off Script. I don't know if many of you guys know him, but he is quite the man about town on Clubhouse. And and we first started out hating each other. I did not like him and he did not like me. And we have since created a shaky alliance. I guess you could say it's a shaky
Well,
alliance.
I wouldn't call it a shaky alliance as much as a schooling lesson. I tell you what it is to think from a different point of view,
No,
and
you
so
tell me what I'm supposed to think.
well, that's I as a conservative man, I think that's kind of what my job is. I kind of set the tone, right? It starts in the mind, right, in the soul of what you
Mhm.
believe. And I just think I know that what I believe is right, and sometimes what you believe is it needs a little remodification.
Oh, okay.
Needs a little
Okay.
remodification.
If you say so.
It's not wrong. It just needs a little modifying. Little touching, cleaning that thing up. But
Okay, but here's the thing.
come on,
Here's
talk to me.
here's the thing. My position is not to eliminate um, Black women's options of considering Black men. It's never been that. I know it's so simple to try and do that. People want to do that because it requires no thought process.
Right.
But that is not what I'm doing. I think that it's practical. It makes common sense
Right.
for Black women who have unique relationship challenges, and we've talked about them, right? The Black community has the lowest marriage rates, the highest divorce rates. Black men marry at what, like 43%.
Right.
Black men lead in interracial marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Asian women lead for the women. Black men lead for the men.
So
Um, we
with that,
outnumber them by millions. It
right.
doesn't make sense to teach Black women to cover their eyes and cover their ears to the realities of the situation and tell them to just keep hoping and praying that, if you climb up every mountain
Uh-huh.
and swim every sea, look under every rock and crevice, go through the valley lows, swim the seven seas, the high seas, and the what is it, the Black Sea, before you even have permission to look elsewhere.
Well,
I
the
think
thing of
that
it,
that's
but to your point, the thing of it is, black men in this country have always gotten okay. You said women outnumber men by the millions. You just said that.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm, they do.
Marriage is an economic contract, right or wrong?
I mean, it's yeah,
Okay,
legally
so
speaking,
right,
yes.
legally speaking, marriage is an economic contract. What is the
Hmm.
first rule of economics? Scarcity. Marriage is like the game of musical chairs. Somebody got to get left behind. Only the elite of the I'm serious. Only the elite of the elite black women deserve to get married. Period. That's the bar none. Only the elite of the elite men deserve to get married. Marriage is a game of elitism. Marriage should
Okay.
only be reserved for those people that have a commitment. Because understand what is required to make a successful marriage: a faithful husband and a loyal wife. How many people on this planet are truly faithful and loyal? I would imagine very few, I would submit to you. Marriage is an elite institution and it should remain one. The black community, however, see, what we talk about when we talk about this whole black men, black woman diaspora war, diaspora gender war, if you will, there's something that is always missed in the conversation. I'm going to take us back on a trip, ladies and gentlemen, the 1960s. No, I'm not going to give you a Dr. King speech either. That's not what I'm about to do. But I'm about to give you a history lesson. Okay? See, the net of it is in 1960, something occurred. You know what I'm
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
do.
I did. Pretty profound.
Lyndon Johnson, he came through the Great Society. When the Great Society came in, you had what was thought was that women chose the check over the men. It's
Hmm.
not what happened. The welfare system simply closed the door on a bunch of Negroes that had already left the women and the children by themselves. So it's not the black woman's fault that your men was gone. But here's where your accountability comes into play. When black men came back,
When did they come back? I didn't. I missed that.
when black men would come back to the home, they would find that their wife is no longer needing them because now she's become more independent and now she's begun to work and she's begun to amass money and she says the phrase, I don't need a man. Or as
Hmm.
most modern black women will say it, I don't need no man. I'm good. I can do bad all by my mother self.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do? That's gonna keep the marriage rate down. You got women now saying they don't want to get married unless the man makes more money than them. Not understanding that when you look at the statistics, black men are earning 86, I think it's 86 cents of the white man's dollar.
So, so are you saying that black women can't be hypergamous?
It's harder for black women to be hypergamous because they ain't but so many top tier upper echelon brothers. That's the
Okay, but
point of
I'm
what I'm
not. But
talking
see,
about.
here's the thing. I'm not telling them to just date upper echelon brothers, and that therein
You're
lies
you're
the
you're you're not telling them to do that, but what you're telling them to do is to abandon the only class of men that will ever care about them in mass.
Oh my gosh.
Show me
Okay,
any.
that's
Show me the
actually
rich white
actually
men.
that's a
Oh wait a minute. Don't over talk me. God damn
okay.
it. Show me the rich white men that is bagging you black women in mass. This shit ain't happening. The math ain't matter. That's why
Oh,
the interracial marriage rate is increasing. That's because y'all are going to go to get y'all are going to get Enriquez. Y'all going to get Enriquez. Y'all are going to get motherfucking Jimmy Johns over there from the country. You going over there to get the foreigners from really overseas, them real Eastern Europeans. Because
mhm.
rich, wealthy American white men is not marrying you sisters in mass, are they?
Okay. So that I often hear that as an argument.
Talk to me.
Most people will marry those that are in their own community. That's natural, right? That's natural. It's our default.
Okay,
But black people make up 13% of the population.
they do.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
So if we were to roughly have it, cut it in half, that would mean that black women make about 6.5% of the population. Is that
Roughly,
correct?
give or take. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a really small amount in comparison to the totality of all races of men.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if white men in mass start mass marrying black women. It doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
Because there's still going to be enough that will. because you're talking about 6% of.
So you're
You're talking
saying,
about
so you're
six
saying that
percent.
the leftover. So what you're
Yeah,
saying is
you're
that the
talking
black
about
men.
6% of 94%.
So you're saying that the black men.
It just takes one.
No, but you're
You don't
saying that
need
no.
all.
But I hear that. But you're saying that the black men that are already the marrying type, they're gonna marry some, and then the remnant that's left over, that's unwanted by black guys, are then gonna be married by the white men that'll take them.
See, this is the problem when we have these conversations. Um, we have very binary thinking, and literally black and white. So if you're
Okay,
not with
okay.
a
The
black
other
man,
race men will take them.
okay, and they will, and you know what? I can prove it. You know how I can prove it?
I, how?
You want to hear?
Enlighten me.
Okay.
How
Okay.
can you prove this theory?
Okay. So, in the back of me is the book that I wrote called Swirling. It was in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
When that book came out in 2012, the interracial marriage rate for Black women was around 9 or 10%.
Mm-hmm.
And it had been 9 or 10% for the 20 years that the census started to keep track in the 80s. From 2012, when the book came out, till 2015, Pew Research reported that the interracial marriage rates of Black women, still the lowest, went up to 12%. So it went from 9 to 12, a 33% increase from 2012 to 2015. And I suspect it's even higher. 33% increase when for 20 years it stayed the same. Okay. So somebody is marrying us. Somebody not Black is marrying us.
Okay, I hear that, but the problem I have is.
Oh, I know what your problem is.
What is it? Tell me what it is.
It's about ego. I mean, I understand the ego and the emotionality of it, but Black women want to be married. Black women want the happily ever after, and we don't want to struggle. And listen, I want to marry somebody who's doing better than me. 80%
of so only 1 in 5 Black women are marrying within their lifetime and staying married. 3 out of okay. 1 in 4. 1 in 4. 3 out of 4 Black women are dying unmarried. They're dying without a husband.
And you know what? There's a lot of Black men. There's more Black men dying without a wife.
No, there's more Black husbands today than there are wives. Who's initiating the divorces?
A lot of Black men. I wish y'all in my chat, if you can please direct me to a link, the mods, on the statistics of how many Black men die alone in nursing homes where nobody wants to come because all their baby children and the baby mamas that they didn't pay child support to, and they don't care that he's in the Social Security nursing home on his last breath. There's a lot of that happening. Whether or not Black women die not married, they aren't dying alone.
So, okay, they're not getting right. They're not okay. They're not dying alone. Granted, they're not dying alone. But what I'm trying to get at is this: the majority, when you pull statistics, I mean, we've heard the Godfather do this. We've heard the Manosphere do this. When these statistics are pulled, if it is statistically verifiable that the majority of the Black community is unmarried. 70% of single parent households are run by who? They're run by women.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Black community, the out of wedlock birth rate began to increase massively after the 1960s. Within the 1960s, but especially after. At the very same time that's occurring, the feminist movement comes in, and Black women start talking about, I don't need no man, I'm free, this, that, and third, in the patriarchy. But Black women women in general benefit heavily from the patriarchy in ways that men, we built this world that y'all live in. But then you turn around
did you build it voluntarily, or
did we build it voluntarily? Men did. The white men that you tell them to date did.
Okay.
Right. And then they let me tell you how slick they was. They went and enlisted some help from some brothers overseas, asked them to get on a boat nicely and then come on over here. Very nicely asked them to get on a boat.
Yep. And the people, and okay, so that would go down a real rabbit hole, but slave owners or slave traders could not have gone into any continent, any country or region or territory in Africa and just they had to negotiate and have transactions and trade for them. So that means that on the other end of that, there were middlemen, there were people who were in those African countries, tribes, and territories that procured those people to go on those ships.
Right.
And yes, they did ask nicely because
you're blaming black people for turning.
They were getting cowrie shells and handkerchiefs in exchange, and liquor, booze, and guns. And they were like, "Here, take them. We don't want them anyway. We don't like them. We just defeated them. Take them. These are our. You know."
You think that's still a good? And you think that's still a good enough rationale?
I'm not saying it's not. This is not about good. I'm not attributing any morality to it. What I am going to do is I'm not going to say that Africans were innocent in brokering slavery and the chattel slave trade in the United States.
I grant that they were not innocent. I'll give you that one. But when we look at the current dating market today, how much responsibility do you place on black women for their failure to find a husband? That's my question.
That's a good question. And nobody's ever asked me that question. How much responsibility?
How much responsibility does a woman play in her?
I don't know. I don't
to select a husband.
I don't know if I can quantify it, but I can give
on a scale of 1 to 10, or what percent on a scale of 0 to 100, what percent of blame goes on that woman? Why is it not 50-50?
Well, for one, the reason why it's not 50-50 is because the men ask, and if they're not asking, there's nothing women can do about it.
No.
Ask.
Women hold the key to marriage. Men hold the key
to
marriage.
Austin, I disagree.
Women hold the key to marriage. Men hold the key to request it. We hold the key of request. Mm-hmm. There are many black women today, and we ran this room on Clubhouse many times, that I've asked women, have you ever been asked to be married? How many of you are not married? Some of them will raise their hands. I say, okay, for those of you that are not married, which most of my audience is single anyway, because I'm a single male myself, I asked them, have you ever been proposed to and declined the proposal? Mm-hmm. And almost 30% of my audience raises their hands every single time I ask that question. There are women out here getting proposed to. So having men that are good enough to screw, but somehow not good enough to marry with and create a legacy and establish it in the family. That's why I'm asking you, what percentage of the blame has to be placed on the black woman for not being able to procure the bag?
That's a loaded question. You know what loaded questions are.
It's a realistic question.
It's a loaded question. So I don't know because
have you ever thought about it?
I didn't, because I don't concentrate on blaming black women for things.
It's not about
blame. Because I feel like
it's not about blame.
We
it's about
do enough of blaming black women.
Well,
so
it's not about blame. It's about accountability. See, what I'm saying to you is you have to look at, you have to see, right? And somebody in the comments said that men, what is it? What did she say? What did she say? Men have a list of women they want to screw but not marry. Absolutely. That's not what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, actually, Pink Pill, let's do this. If you don't, I would love to talk to some of these people. Share the link in your chat. Let's get a couple people on there. So,
this is gonna be it. Okay.
I want to have this conversation. I want to have it, because if you can talk to me, and ladies, understand, wait a minute. Make sure if you're coming on camera with me, you are subscribed to Austin Off Script. I will talk to y'all for as long as
Austin, text me the link, because I'm sharing my screen on Zoom.
Okay, I got you. Let me text you the link. Okay, I got you. Let me go to my channel. Here we go.
But I can't say that I can give a percentage, but I can say that it's not 50-50.
So that's what I'm asking. You gotta give me the facts. You gotta give me the data. I gotta have something to work.
But see, the thing is that so I'm big on data and facts. So if I
As
don't
am I.
have them, I don't make them up. So I'm not going to make up something that I don't know just to make myself sound smart or win the debate or
Well,
whatever.
it's not about
But
that
I
though.
can, yeah. So what I will say is that, um, the responsibility that, okay, so say if you said 30% of Black women have been proposed to in the audience
Right.
when you do this.
Typically,
And
and granted, I have about 14,300 followers, and a good
okay,
percentage of them always show up to my room. So that's a solid damn percentage. Oh, I sent you
okay,
the link, by the way. So
okay.
guys, if you want to
Yeah,
come
I and
online,
I shared it.
yeah. So if
So
you want to
so I
come
have
talk
one
to us, I don't mind it, but make sure you're at least subscribed to my YouTube channel before you come and scream at me, ladies of the Pink Pill Society. Can you at least do that? I promise you, you'll love me once I have once we have a conversation. I have no doubt about it. But what I'm getting at is we have to understand, and all I'm saying is there has to be some level of accountability to us. There must be to
You
women and
mean
to
us? You
men.
mean
Men and women have
okay?
both
Hmm.
a degree of accountability. It's required, right?
Hmm.
That's
Yeah,
that would be my logic.
yeah,
It's
I
required to
agree.
do so. But the
Hmm.
problem is that we in our society we don't we have historically shielded black women and women in general of any society from the harsh realities of the world, right? It
You
men
think Black women have been shielded from the harsh realities of the world?
when it comes not in every case, but when it comes to certain instances, I would have to say yes. And again, I think that we
Give
paint
me an example of how
okay. For example,
society shields
here's
Black
an
women
example.
from the harsh realities of the world.
Here's a great example.
Okay.
Kevin Samuels actually used this example in his interview with Joe Budden. So I actually kind of like this because it makes the most logical sense. When men are broke, when we're in college, right? As a college student myself, even though I'm going along because of COVID and whatnot, but as you know, when men are in college, we talked about being broke. We talk about tightening our belt, going without. He
Hmm.
told an experience of where he was at college and a girl, he was eating sardines and whatnot, and his roommate at another school, or his one of his friends that was a girl at another school, excuse me, she was eating shrimp, crab, lobster. He's like, "Where are you getting all this money? Where you broke? Food stamps." She said, I'm a college student. I can apply for food stamps." He said, "It never would cross my mind because I, as a man, know that's not what that's for. That's not what that's there for. It's not to be eating shrimp and lobster and crab. Men of any society have always understood no one's coming to save you. Women don't. Women get to make demands of said society.
Okay, so I have to tell you something. When I had my daughter, I
Mm-hmm.
had experience with the welfare system. You know,
Right.
for while I was in college, I got food stamps, I got WIC, and I got public assistance, even though I was with her father. Um, I had those things. So I would be in the office and there would be many Black men in there getting, what is it called? General relief.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they call it, general relief. And I didn't know what it was until I had to be, also in the system. But I remember those conversations, and Black men were getting welfare too. They'd get a couple $100s a month. It was
Okay.
called general relief.
Right.
So they qualified for it. Just because you didn't know that it existed, I don't believe it was some issue related to honor.
Okay.
I think it was just some people knew about it and some people didn't know. But general relief was for everybody. And I saw plenty of men in there getting their GR checks.
Okay. But when you look at okay, let's fast forward time a bit. We'll look at today's dating market. There are women out here, and you've heard this on Clubhouse, you've heard this on YouTube. I've probably seen this. There are women that are saying a man can't talk to me unless he makes a certain dollar amount. I don't have a problem with that per se, right? Because obviously I do think women in that capacity, a man should take care of you, at least be able to take you on a decent date that's not a damn Red Lobster or Starbucks, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree there. But when
Mm-hmm.
we look at women saying his money comes first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it more important to examine the moral character of a person before you start giving a damn what's in their wallet? That's my question.
I don't think that it's an either or. I think it's an and. I think that historically, Black women have been not hypergamous,
Mhm.
they have been hypogamous, meaning that they marry down, as evidenced as 80% of Black women are the breadwinners in their households. Thank you for the super chat. I don't have them on my glasses, so I can't read what it
I'll
says.
read it. It's from Shayandra. She says it seems like he's more focused on holding Black women accountable than holding his own group to a standard. That would be much easier. Pink Pill does it for us. Well, the thing is, no, I do hold Black men to a very high standard. Pink Pill will tell you that. I'm not one of those men. And
I mean, honestly, it's the only reason I'm even talking to him.
yeah, I
Honestly,
mean, I'm not one of those men. Let me tell you, ladies, understand. The net of it is Black men sold y'all a bill of bullshit. I have no problem telling you that. Black men sold Black women a bill of bullshit. Black men did not get their balls back after slavery, and I've said this a numerous amounts of times. And that is one of our biggest problems. One of our biggest problems. But at the same time, I just try to look at things from both sides. I'm a realist. I can't just blame men without first taking an in-depth analysis. It was almost like, for those of you ladies that don't know me, let me say it like this. Dr. King asked men were asking him many years ago before he was killed. They said, why are you speaking about the war in Vietnam? They said, why are you speaking about the war, Dr. King? It's not your place. Peace and civil rights don't mix, they say. And Dr. King said, I could never again raise my voice against the dissent of the and the violence of the oppressed in the ghettos, having first spoken to the greatest purveyor of violence in the known world, my own government. So he said, I can't crucify these people without also looking at these people. It's kind of the same comparison I'm using when I look at Black men and Black women. All I'm looking for is an equivalent analysis of the data and the facts. That's it. And for far too long, how many of you, matter of fact, ladies in the chat, put a one up if you've ever seen in Pink Pill's chat, ladies. Put a one in the chat if y'all have heard of Sister Shahrazad Ali. Put a one
oh
in the
my
chat.
God,
Put a
you
one.
about to get into a lion's den up
No,
here.
if you've heard, ladies, if you've heard of Sister Shahrazad Ali, put a one in the chat room.
God, I need to. Where's the bugle?
Right. Are you playing the taps? You playing?
I'm playing.
You playing the
Yeah,
taps?
you about to walk into a, you about to bite into a shit sandwich. But go ahead.
I am. Now, look, let me tell you, ladies, this is not an all hail Kevin Samuels. I am not, Chris, tell them I'm not a Kevin Samuels stan. Tell them, bail me
No,
out
he's
now.
not. He's not a stan, but
Because
you
your
know
audience is bored.
he does co-sign a lot of things, but he does, if he does have disputes with him, he does speak those. He's not a Kevin Samuels acolyte where everything that he says he's in
Because
with them.
boy, listen, thank y'all for putting the one in the chat room. I am not a Kevin Samuel stan at all. Not at all, gentlemen, ladies. No, not at all. Yeah, no. Domestic discipline, I don't agree with that. That shit's very weird. Okay.
What about sex after 3 steak dinners?
Well, understand. Well, how did he say it? Understand. If you want to date between the hours of 12 and 3, that's platonic. Anything after 5, sex should be on the menu. When he said that, I
It's
died
just
laughing.
so arbitrary.
I
It's so
died laughing when he said that
arbitrary.
crazy shit. I said he lost his mind. You gonna tell her? How do you put a price? How do you tell a woman? Before we continue with this conversation, how do you tell a woman when to give you her body? I never will understand that line of logic. I will
Well,
never
and he
grasp
says,
that.
well, because he thinks, well, high value men should get everything. They should be able to cheat on you. They should be able to discipline you domestically. They should be able to get sex with you after 3 steak dinners. They should be able to do whatever that you want, whatever they want without any complaints from you. You're supposed to just sit quietly and accept it because he's a high value man and he's paying your electric bill.
See, the danger, there's a danger with high value men, and this is one of the severe disagreements I have with Kevin Samuels. One, you can't tell me that high value's chief principle is an income of $10,000 or more for 6 months or more over a period of 5 years. You can't tell me that that's the foundation of high value, because the true foundation of value with manhood is not in his money; it's in his morality. Morality makes the man. Money is nothing but paper and green ink. The thing that gives it its value is how it's earned.
Yeah, but morality doesn't pay your rent, though.
No, it doesn't. But what I'm saying to you is that a bank robber is afraid to report his earnings to the IRS. A man that honestly earns his living has no fear of anybody or any government body or agency. That's what I'm saying. And the whole
Okay,
and the whole high value nonsense, it's all relative. It's all relativistic. But
absolutely.
yes.
I'm sure that at this point, Kevin Samuels makes millions of dollars, and I will never consider him high value. I think that these arbitrary labels, which he defined, that is not the definition, but these are perimeters that he has defined.
Right.
If high value is you've made $100,000 for how many years? 3 years?
I think 3 to 5.
3 to 5 years. And if you don't make that, you're a Henry. And what's a Henry?
The Henry is
High
high earner, not rich yet, and then you have
not
the
rich
hit
yet.
squad.
See, all of these arbitrary things that he's made up. To put money on it is his way of, in my opinion, it's his way of saying once you reach that pinnacle, then feel free to be an asshole.
Well,
That's
now that of his I disagree with. I mean, when he says high value men don't cheat the exercise options, I'm like, no, you're full of bullshit. You're full of pure bullshit.
He in a lot of ways gives men a pass to
He gives
be
men a pass
assholes.
to do dog like things. That I
Yes,
grant. That
yes.
has to be
But
checked.
but here's the thing, going back to hypergamy versus hypogamy.
Right.
I think that historically Black women, I don't think, I know, historically Black women have married down. They are the heads of the data show that is the reality, is that 80% of Black women are heads of households, and they're making they're making the most money. And are we better off for it? Are we, you know,
No.
are we happy about
No.
it? No. We struggle.
The average
We
black woman,
have
1 in 4 black women is now on some sort of psych medication. 1 in 4 black women now reports higher cases of depression. I think it's directly a result of the fact they've had to stress the hell out of themselves.
Yes, it's extremely stressful. So why would you want to take on another baby? Like I don't want to raise a grown baby. And so I think what you see happening now is an enlightenment, and where they're saying, look, this did not work for my mother. This did not work for my grandmother. I don't want to do this. I don't want to have to raise my kids and a grown baby too. And so I'm going to try to be as strategic as I can to find men who are who have something to bring to the table. Because quite honestly, I think Gen Z, who have seen all this struggle, they don't want to have anything to do with it. And they've seen their mothers, their grandmothers, even their great grandmothers do everything and be exhausted, overweight, pissed off at everybody, in dysfunctional situations, and they don't want to have any part of it. They're like, can't I just breathe? So this is like, why can't they're seeing, because of the internet, they're seeing other races of women being able to breathe, be married, and have some modicum of care,
a breathing room, right?
A breathing room.
And that I understand, right?
And so I think,
but when you look at it, they do have the breathing room, but I think that when we think about it, you can expand your dating options. I think that sometimes, though, the rhetoric that is used is somewhat divisive, I believe. That's what I think. I think
that we haven't agreed on much tonight, but I will agree with you on that.
Well, no, we don't agree on much, because I see the world from the point of view of rationality, and you see it from the Pink Pill Society. Right? I take the real pill, you take the pink pill, and we're gonna see which
the pink
one
pill is the pink pill is a wonderful pill to take. It makes
everything.
I bet
it is.
It makes everything. It makes the cloudy skies blue. It makes
the delusion seem real.
Flowers.
It makes the delusion seem real. It makes but no. This was fun. I think we may have to do this again at some point.
No, I mean, I agree, but just to say this, the net of it, like you
Right.
said, the net of it
Oh my God.
is that there's an awakening in Black women, especially younger Black women who
Mm.
have seen so much struggle. They don't have anything to do with it. They would rather just not get married if they can't find somebody who can help to carry the load. You know, I don't want to get married, have a baby, and 6 weeks after I've given birth, I have to go back to work, or we're not going to be able to make our mortgage. I don't want to have to do that.
Well,
And
I
so
think I
I
don't
think,
think black
and
I don't think black
and
men want to put you in that position to have to suffer through that either. I think that it's just a result. In closing, I'll say it's a result of factors that were beyond our control in a lot of ways, and I think
but
there's
some are in your control. Some
right,
are.
and I think there's a growing I believe that there's a growing um, cauldron of men that are trying, because 2.5 black men are now sitting in the middle class. I think that what can happen to fix us is we have to reestablish the strength of the black family exclusively. So I will always
And
try
see,
to
that's where I
advocate.
disagree. See, I love the Black family too. I love to see functional Black families. I think it's
Right.
a beautiful, beautiful thing. I support it, but I'm not where we differ. Um, is that you want that, and you solely want that, and
So
I say that I love the Black family. I support it. I think it's a beautiful thing. I came from a Black family.
right.
My brother is married, has a Black family. I love my nephew. I love my sister-in-law. It's a beautiful thing. But if you make it so that the women in the community feel like it's either that or nothing, or I'm never going to be happy if I don't have that, when they have all of these other challenges, it makes for a whole lot of misery. And you being committed to wanting to see your community better should not be contingent on who you laid next to at night.
Well, you have to understand that from my
I mean,
perspective.
do you not want my white man's money? If he's got money, you don't want my white people money?
How many of you really giving it up to us for the community once you go get your swirly babies? How many of you really, how many of y'all
But you know,
really? No, but I'm saying no.
wait. Okay, how much you want to know? I have given so much time, sweat, and tears to the Black community since I had my swirl babies. You don't really want to go there because I will bury you in that conversation. I
You
have
ain't
done
gonna bury
quite a
shit in this
lot for the
conversation.
Black.
You ain't gonna bury. You forgot. This is the doctor.
I've given a lot of white husband dollars to the Black community, and still not be married to a Black man.
Well, you know my
But here's the
philosophy.
difference, though. The
My
difference is,
personal philosophy on that. You ain't fully pro black unless you marry black. That's my personal philosophy.
well, you know, lucky for you, you don't get to, you don't get to hand out the Black cards or take them away. That's
Unfortunately, because if I did, yours would have
and
been
you know what?
yours would have been under review
I mean,
long motherfucking time ago.
listen, you are entitled to your opinion, and I am entitled to wipe my ass with it.
And I'm entitled to spit the facts while you're here with this cap. But anyway, we're gonna close the show, people. Thank you for watching. This was very fun. We will probably have to do a part 2 of this. I think this.
Yeah, I really want to go over that letter. That's going to be deep.
That
But I
letter
feel
is
like
going to be
we need
what
to
we're going to
kind
do.
of
We're
give
going to
it.
get this is what we're going to do. We're going to get Nicole Michelle and Letitia to have that conversation around that letter, because that letter, there was a letter we read on Clubhouse today, folks.
Oh man.
It was about birth control. It was about black men were telling black women to not take birth control pills. Now that I thought was insane. I said these Negroes is Negroing. There's nothing more I say to that, but I'm on YouTube streaming live, and I like to keep my monetization. But the net of it is, black men really was telling black women not to take a daggone birth control pill. Now we're gonna dive into that at some point in the very very near future.
Yeah, I mean, it was completely outrageous. Some of you guys know about that historic letter, but you know, these men, especially in the manosphere, bashing single mothers, no historical context of what they were saying that they wanted us to do before you were even born, that has an impact, a direct impact to where we are today in terms of the out of wedlock rate. And then they did what they did, and then it turned to shit, and they blamed us completely for it. So that's going to be a conversation that I think is interesting. And I'm going to say this too. I know that some of you may be like, why is she talking to a Black man? Divestment means that all Black men are apes and gorillas. Listen, I'm in the middle. I'm in a no man's land. I'm going to go where I want to go. I've been booted out of, the divestment community, and it's fine with me. I'm kind of happy about it. I feel a lot more free, and I'm going to do what I've been telling you to do, and that is to go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. And I've done that in my romantic relationships, and I'm going to do that in my business relationships. And I'm going to,
ladies, I'm not.
And I'm going to do what I want to do, and not worry about being judged by people who believe that nothing I ever do is right in the first place. I really mean what I say. This is 2022 is my last year. Everything I do from this point on is for the legacy, but I no longer am invested in whether or not people like me, accept me, whether I'm following this invisible book, doing what
the invisible
the invisible code of divestment and all this other stuff. I'm gonna go where I'm celebrated, period, the end. And it's not just with relationships, it's going to be here too. And if that's okay with you, great. Enjoy, stay aboard. If you have a problem with it, I don't give a shit.
They have a problem with it, they come talk to me, because the thing about we enjoy each other's company. And so
I can have friendships. Here's the thing, and this is what here's on the reverse of what you just said. I don't need to care about Black people and also sleep with and marry them. I can have platonic relationships with Black men without having sex with them. Right. And true divestment is that because I'm not invested in these men wanting me or me being picked by them, I can just be friends, and there's no tension there. And whatever they do, that's on them, and it's okay. They like it, they love it, but I'm not invested on what their romantic decisions are. But if we can talk about things that resonate with the both of us, even if it's a debate, I'm willing to do that.
It's funny. I was looking at this comment as you were speaking, and it goes along just what you were saying. It's from Candies and Cupcakes. Says there are good Black men. We're talking about a certain subgroup and type of Black men. Y'all can help us check them. Some of those bros we won't call them out. Oh, for sure. That's the message that I think I'm trying to preach. Mm-hmm. Because there is a slew of men that really are just the only
reason why I speak to you, why I'm speaking to you, why we've sort of had this shaky alliance. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully it'll, turn out well. But it's because I've listened to what you have to say, and you are one of the 5 guys who's trying to be that counter voice. You have a lot of men who follow you on Clubhouse, and you have a lot of women who follow you on Clubhouse. Right. And if they don't want to see me take more of their beautiful Black women, then they're going to have to do more to be the counter voice of what is happening. Because what you're seeing, even though I believe it is over the top and extreme, what you're seeing is a reaction to a deep hurt and rejection that came from a decade of Black men who said the most awful things, and the chickens have come home to roost.
In many ways, that point is actually pretty valid. So I think that's something that is worth listening to. Of course, I'm going to still believe in the end. I'm going to side with my brothers every time. I'm still going to be a male.
And that's fine. And I'm going to side with my sisters every time.
You know,
So it's good. We both, they both have good allies. Black men have a great ally in you. And at least for some Black women, they feel I'm a great ally as well.
well, ally is a relativistic term.
Mhm.
But I think that I think these kinds of conversations are necessary. What people need to see is two people who disagree, but can do so properly and
Respectfully.
respectfully, yes, and have a little bit of fun with
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
But we're gonna
But that's
close
not as
with.
exciting as throwing tomatoes back and forth and cussing each other out and
No, it's not. It's not.
pulling off wigs and
Split,
teeth and
throwing drinks in
greasing
the
up your
face,
face
whatever
with
whatever
Vaseline.
the case may be. Um, and I think that what we have to have. Somebody said, "Where were the so-called good Black men to course correct the bad ones?" Then, I don't think that they. That's a great question. That's a
There
great
really
question.
isn't a lot. That's why it's such a surprise when we see it.
Absolutely. I mean,
Because there needs to be more. And there's a cacophony. There's this the voice in the manosphere is overpowering. And I do understand that good Black guys aren't on YouTube all day talking
they're not.
about
They're
Black
working.
women and
They're
shit.
working.
They're out here
If they're
working.
not a content creator like me, they're working. If I wasn't a
Okay,
content
but
creator, I would be working.
right. But here's the thing. It's still happening, and it's happening whether you are present or not. You can't complain about the Black women who are leaving if you don't want to at least put in the time to understand
To work
why,
and
and
understand
then do what you can to counter the narrative. Because right now, there are a lot of young Black women who think that all of y'all hate us and want to kill us.
and we don't. We don't. I love y'all to death.
Exactly. But that,
In fact, I only date Black women. I don't. I'm only going
yeah,
to
but
marry
you
a
need to
Black.
marry one, and then I'll have all the respect in the world for you.
Say that again.
Marry one, though, because the Black manosphere says the same thing. They talk about us all day and say,
The
well,
Black
I'm still
manosphere
fucking.
is a collection of Negroes that have had problems getting women to talk to
It's
them.
like, but it's like, so what? It's like, okay, you're having sex. You say, oh, I'm saying all this stuff, but I'm still fucking them. So it's okay.
No,
And it's like, it's not okay.
no, it's not. If you're not marrying her, gentlemen, you're wasting her time in the end. Okay.
Yeah.
And for those of you men that run around here talking about marriage is just marriage is the key to black success. But with that one, that'll be the last quote of the evening. We're gonna shut the show down, ladies. You can follow me on Instagram at the Dr. Julio. Remember, it's just a nickname, ladies. Relax. But no, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm not a narcissistic, misogynistic bastard. Okay, ladies, I'm not that bad. I'm just a light skinned nigga with green eyes. Okay, that knows what he's talking about.
Sometimes.
Sometimes, you're so silly.
Sometimes.
Thank you
Can
to
you do one of your impressions before you go?
one of my
Because they're
impressions
so funny.
of who? Name the character. Who do you want
Okay.
to send them out?
I'm Bernie Mac, Martin Luther King, Bernie Mac. Do Bernie Mac.
Let me tell you, motherfucking black women, I'm tired of you motherfuckers. You black women, y'all want to be motherfucking doctor, motherfucking counselor, pastor, teacher, preacher, insurance agent, real estate motherfucker. All right, black women wear so they swear to God, they go from being a doctor to a lawyer in a half a second. Black women wear so many motherfucking goddamn hats. I ain't gonna bullshit. I ain't even gonna bullshit you, Pink Pill. I ain't gonna bullshit you. You nice. You a good looking woman. You got good features, but that shit you be talking kind of crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you. There's some crazy shit be coming out your mouth. But
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I get going, man.
I gotta give it to you. You do a really good impression.
Well,
so I want to just end with this. We're not going to get anywhere warring with each other and hating each other. And I think the bottom line is that good people, good Black men need to step up and be the distinction so that we have something to compare to, and not let it be something that we read about in fairy tales. And the good Black men need to get together and be louder than these men who are crushing the souls of little girls women and steering, quite frankly, steering Black boys and men into a direction that is not going to lead them to what they wish they
We
want.
we have to steer our boys better.
Yeah. So you guys, I mean, and please stop putting so much responsibility on the women. I think when Black women are trying to improve themselves and be better, it would be nice to see the men try to do that too.
I agree with that. I'm still gonna maintain my current 50-50 smoke radar, but
Well, you just you hang out with me for a little while, you might change your mind.
we'll see about that. We'll test that theory out. Have a great
Well,
week,
this
guys.
was fun.
This was very fun, guys. With that one, we are